Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome back to another speed build. So today I am actually sharing a renovation speed build. It's part of my Renovating base game series, which is a series that I am starting up again. It's one that I've been doing for a while. In case you guys missed it, I do have a playlist, and essentially it is kind of just how it sounds. It's a renovation of the base game lots using only base game. So this is the park that you can find in the center of Willow Creek. I really like this park originally. I think it's pretty cute. It's very simple, but I mean, it came with the original base game, so it had limited items, and it's just very simply decorated, but it's cute enough. I do like it, but however, I thought I could improve it, especially with some of the new features that is part of base game now, like the terrain manipulations, and the tools that you can make like ponds and stuff. And so I thought it'd be really nice to have sort of like a pond creek sort of thing running through the park. I considered making it more of like a river with like bridges and stuff, but I thought that would just overcomplicate the park. I still wanted it to be fairly simple like it was originally, but I wanted to utilize that feature, and I also wanted to utilize glass roofs, and I didn't want to change up the park so much that it was unrecognizable. So I wanted to leave the bathroom as is, which is that building off there in the back of the lot. And I did consider making like a greenhouse, but I didn't really think that would look the way I wanted it to really turn out. So I just added glass roof to the top of the bathrooms just to sort of bring that in a little bit. And then other than that, I changed up the benches. The original benches were like plastic sort of benches with yellow cushions, and they were cute enough. It just didn't really feel like a park bench to me. It felt more like a patio set, like something that you would see in somebody's home or at a restaurant, because I just really think like the cushions would get really dirty in a park, and you would have to hire somebody to maintain them, and it just seems like unrealistic in that way. And so I felt like a regular wooden metal framed park bench would work really nicely, and so I swapped all those out. And then I also changed up the color of the tables and the chairs over by the bathroom. I decided to leave the ones with the cushions for those instead of changing them. I guess it kind of contradicts what I was saying, but I still think they look nice. I just changed them to a different color. I decided to go with a pretty blue color scheme for the interior of the bathroom and for the furniture decorations on the exterior, just to kind of make it feel more cohesive. And then I do end up changing the colors of the picnic benches just to a different shade of brown. They're still brown, but just a different shade. And then I add a gazebo over by the water too, which I think is really nice. And I put a piano there and a microphone, and just imagined that they have a lot of outdoor music here. And so I thought that would be nice to have. And if you have city living, I would definitely include the outdoor performing station. I'm not really sure what that's called, but it has like the box and like a blanket and some sort of like a sound equipment. I totally sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I promise I do. So I thought that would be nice just to have something extra over here, and I thought it would look really pretty. And then another thing I wanted to do was to add a bit more pathways, also change up the pathway color. Originally it was a combination between brick terrain paint and brick flooring. I just wanted to make it all terrain paint, and I decided to go with a lighter color, just this gravel texture I thought would be really pretty. And then I wanted to add more trees, more greenery, and kind of simplify the landscaping a little bit. There was a few too many varieties of flowers for me, and so I decided to remove some of them and simplify it, make it feel a bit more just cohesive. And I tried to pick plants that I think work well in Willow Creek, because some of the flowers that were used here I think look better in Oasis Springs, and that's, I don't know, probably just a personal opinion of mine. I don't know if it's something that other people think as well, but the ones that I chose here I think really work for Willow Creek. I think it's really pretty. You'll also see me changing up the grass color over here, but when I was playtesting the lot, it was during the fall season, and I just didn't really like the way the grass was looking, so I decided to remove the darker grass color that I changed it to, and then I just added some like flowers and stuff. But you guys won't see that in the speed build, but you may notice it in the screenshots. It's not like a huge detail. But here I'm changing up the tables and chairs like I was talking about. So maybe I should have changed the chairs to be a metal one. I don't know, but I left the ones with the cushions, just changed the color to blue and then the umbrella color to blue too. And then here I also changed up the color of the monkey bars. And for some reason in my mind, I thought that I was going to be able to include the toddler slide, but that came with the toddler stuff pack, I believe. And so, yeah, it's not available. And my cat is eating behind me, so if you can hear her food, I apologize. But she's trapped in the room with me. So as long as she stays over there, we should be fine. Doesn't try to jump up on the desk or anything. But anyways, yeah, so I thought I was going to be able to add the toddler slide. So unfortunately, that is with a pack. But if you have that one, I would definitely put it over here in the play area. I think that would be a nice thing to include. Also, like a treehouse would probably be pretty fun to have in a park, and that's something I haven't thought about till now, and that came with growing together. So I think if you have a few different packs, there's a lot of different options to even expand upon this park and add a few things. And then I also added sand to the play area because now your Sims can actually build sand castles. I think the sand that I chose your Sims can play in. I need to actually play test that before sharing the lot because I want to make sure it's the right sand. I think it is though. Hopefully it is. Anyways, I decided to add a fountain around the original fountain. Originally it was flooring, just like tile flooring that matched the terrain paint. I thought for a moment about putting it up on its own like sort of foundation using the platform tool and just sort of kind of making it a bit more elevated, but I decided I didn't like the way that looked, so I just made it even with the rest of the ground. The terrain paint is all the same, and then I just added the extra fountain around it. And then the lily pads that I put inside the fountain, you can actually click on them and have frogs jump on the lily pads, which I think is such a cute detail, and I think it just makes you feel more just in the environment and things are happening. So I really recommend doing that because I don't know if that transfers through the gallery. When I was playtesting it, I definitely clicked on a few of them and had the frogs jumping, as well as the decorations in the pond area too. I wanted to have what do you call it, ducks, and then the logs, and then I also put a crocodile in there, or an alligator, I forget which one it is, and some swans, and then a bunch of the lily pads. So I know all of that stuff will transfer. I'm just not really sure if the animation for the frogs and like the turtles and stuff will transfer, but if they do, that's cool. If not, definitely click on some of the lily pads and the logs, so turtles and frogs and stuff can appear. Something that I also placed in the water was a fishing sign, and I placed a few of them, and I placed them outside of the water, and then I realized later that you're supposed to place it inside the water, and I just, for the life of me, could not get it to work properly. So I don't know what I'm doing incorrect. I even like Googled it and tried to figure it out online, and from what I was reading, I was doing it correctly. So I'm not sure if there's some sort of glitch or some step I was missing, but I even had my sim go and fish and put like fish in her inventory, and I tried having her click on the sign and add the fish to the water because apparently you have to do it that way. So I don't know, forgive me if you can't fish there. That was my goal, was to have fishing available, but I guess you could probably use a debug fishing sign and do it that way. So I don't know which would be the best way. But anyways, over here is the bathrooms. It's the original bathrooms that were here originally, and I just changed up the colors, just added a bit more blue, added some toilet paper in the stalls because I feel like you would need toilet paper. So, and then I also changed up the color of the curtains, these benches, added a few decorations in here, some artwork, some plants. And then I also added this blue tile. Originally it was like a cream and white tile. I thought adding the blue would look really pretty, and so I did that. And then on the exterior of the bathrooms, there's these decorative plants, and I decided to put some planter pots instead, and then I put some just flowers in there. I thought about adding other harvestables, but I felt like flowers made sense for their location and for this lot and everything. So you could probably switch those up if you have something that you want your Sims to be able to regularly harvest when they come to the park and stuff. So that's totally a possibility. Here there was this weird overlap between the entry to the bathrooms and the sort of like entry to the stalls. And yeah, I decided to close that in and then add the glass roof just so when the light shines through, it'll cast pretty lighting inside the building. And then I also added a clock here on the exterior just for something else. Basically, I was going to add another window. I just felt like it was a bit bare up there at the top. And so I think adding the extra windows and then the clock kind of just made it feel more full and decorated and that sort of thing. But yeah, over here I was adding more flowers, landscaping, just continuing with the variety that I was using throughout the park. This was the majority of my time spent was just rearranging the flower beds and kind of shuffling things around and adding more trees. The more trees was a huge thing that I wanted to do just because I think the original park just felt a little bit empty and I wanted it to feel more like cozy, if that's a word you can use to describe it. I just wanted you to feel more nestled into the park, and like when you're taking screenshots or you're at the Sims eye level, I wanted it to feel like you were really like in the park and immersed into the environment. And I think adding the extra trees and everything really gives that feel. So let me know if you guys agree. And then around the center fountain, I have a couple of chess tables like there were originally. I think I add 1 or 2 extra ones. And then there's a couple of benches too, so the Sims can sit there and, you know, cuddle on the bench, watch the fountain, and that sort of thing. I really enjoyed playtesting this one actually because there was a lot of Sims here and they were doing different activities and like playing chess, barbecuing, and sitting on the bench together, and it was super cute. I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of running out of things to mention about the park. There's only so many things I feel like you can talk about a lot that doesn't have Sims that live on it. I feel like that's one of the hardest things about voiceovering community lots, but hopefully you guys do enjoy another community lot because I've seen quite a few comments recently asking when the next community lot is going to be, and I'm not really sure when the next one is going to be of like an original build, but I do have this one and then some other community lots that I still need to renovate from base game that I would like to work on. I really want to finish that series because it's like I can actually see the end in sight because the base game is actually limited, whereas when I was working on my save file, there's no end in sight. It just becomes more and more every expansion pack and even some game packs, and it just is so overwhelming, and I get questions all the time about when the next release of that is going to be, and I don't really have any plans for it, and I always hate saying that because I know a lot of you guys have really enjoyed my save, and I've definitely enjoyed it too. It's kind of overwhelming. It's a big project and things change and there's new features that come out, and just it's kind of like a never-ending project, and it's kind of frustrating for that reason. So hopefully you guys can understand that. But this one, there's an end in sight, and I can see finishing all of the base game lots and have them available for you guys. So yeah, it's a lot more realistic of a project. But anyways, over here I decided to add a statue. I put this statue in the museum renovation too, and I kind of imagine that it's the founder of Willow Creek, and I really don't know if that's accurate or not. I haven't read the description, so it might be completely wrong. So if it is, sorry, you can get rid of it, but I thought it looked nice there. And then here's adding some more landscaping at the back of the build, just sort of trying to tie it all together, trying to get rid of a lot of the brick terrain paint that was there originally because there was a lot of it, and I didn't want to completely bulldoze the terrain paint on the lot because I felt like that would be even more work for myself, but I did go through off camera and just make sure that it was all covered up. So before I officially save it and share it with you guys, I will double check. But yeah, I switched up the barbecue area just slightly, moved the grills, moved the picnic tables, but I think it looks really nice, and I really liked these lanterns with the flowers hanging from them, and I just put a few extra lights here and there just to sort of brighten it up a little bit at night, because maybe you would want to be here at night or at least in the evening time, and a bit more light I felt like would look really pretty. But anyways, over here is going to be the decorations in the water. So I add the logs like I was talking about. In case you guys aren't familiar with how all these work, they look a bit strange here in build mode, but in live mode, there's actual ducks swimming around, there's swans, you can click on the logs and make turtles climb on them, you can click on the lily pads and have frogs jump on them, and then you can also add ones that are like dragonflies and fireflies, and so I put some of those around. I think there's even mosquitoes. I didn't add any of those, but I think that's a really cool detail. I would like a butterfly one too. I think that would be really nice. I would have definitely added that, but yeah, I really wanted this to feel like a nice, clean, tidy, family-friendly park like it was originally, so I really tried to stick with that. So nice, clean water, no mosquitoes and stuff. But these are the fishing signs that I was talking about, so I put a few of them around, and I was putting them to where I thought they were going to function, and then I could not get them to work. And so, yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, I don't know. I removed the extra ones, left one in there, tried adding fish. I don't know. I play tested it for a while trying to figure it out. So I really don't know what I'm doing wrong, which is super frustrating. Even after trying to look it up on Google, I still don't know. But anyways, this is it for the build. I really hope you guys have enjoyed another part of this series, and I hope you guys do enjoy the screenshots. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!
Trusting your instincts, realize that knowing looks different to each. When living authentic, do more exploring, deeper than knowing just what is essential for life that is thriving. Go deep, mute out the chatter, feel it, burn off the fire, let go until there's peace to your core. Live a life you adore. Silence the noise, away from the program, removing performance, true self, all that's standing. Live free from worry, live by just being. Power in finding your wholeness in now. Go deep, mute out the child.